We will continue our discussion on the topic of work physiology, and we have discussed basic theoretical concepts. Now we will link those with the ergonomic assessment tools as we have done for most of the topics in this course so far. So we discussed some basic concepts related to that topic, and then we discussed the ergonomic assessment tools. Just like we did in the topic on posture, we discussed the basic guidelines for work posture, and then we discussed some postural assessment tools. So we are on topic 1-6 and we are discussing work physiology, and we will discuss two ergonomic assessment tools related to this topic. The first is the Borg scale. So it has two variants. We will discuss both of them. Here subjects rate their perceived level of exertion during or after performing the task on a scale of 6 to 20, corresponding to heart rates of 60 to 20 beats per minute. So as we discussed in the previous lecture, that one of the measures of work capacity is heartbeats per minute. Now, one way to actually measure the heartbeats is, of course, to measure them directly using some instrument. But there is a problem with the measurement of heartbeats. And that is, it is quite possible that two persons performing the same task have the same heartbeats per minute. But one of them may tire earlier than the other. And the reason is the difference in the physiology of the two persons. So apart from using the instruments to measure, for example, heartbeats in this case, it is also important to take the perspective of the person who is performing the task. So one of the ways is to use this Borg scale. So as we saw there that there is a maximum heart rate value for each individual. So for a healthy male, that is around 200, and the minimum is around 60. So this scale of 6 to 20 actually corresponds to these heart rates of 60 to 200 beats per minute. So this version of Borg scale that has a scale of 6 to 20 corresponding to the heartbeats of 60 to 200 is what we call older version, and we will see the new version as well. So the basic hypothesis or basic assumption behind this Borg scale is that there is high positive correlation between heart rate and the rating of perceived exertion that we obtain using this scale. And based on studies, this correlation has been found. So there is an actual heart rate and there is a rating given by the person who is performing the task. And once we relate both, there is high positive correlation. That is, higher the rating of perceived exertion, the higher will be the actual heart rate, and vice versa. So this is what I call the older version of Borg scale, or its name is Borg's RPE scale. RPE is a rating of perceived exertion. So as I mentioned that two person might be having same heartbeats, but one will be perceiving the exertions or effort to be higher than the other. So we are taking the perspective of the person who is performing the task. So this is the 15-point scale. So if the person takes 6 or 7, that is very, very light task, very low perception of exertion. I mean, the task is easy to perform. For a score of say, this are for 7 and 8, this very light. For a score of 9 or 10, the perceived exertion is very light. For 11 to 12, it is fairly light, and so on. And for say 17 to 18, it is very hard, and 19 to 20 is very, very hard. And there is a spacing between two values to make this scale to be filled easily. So this is Bord's RPE scale, a rating of perceived exertion. The one problem with this scale is that it might be difficult to be filled by a layman. It might be difficult to interpret a scale from 6 to 20 because scales are generally from say 1 to 100 or 1 to 10. So this scale was converted into what we call Bord's CR10 scale. So CR is category ratio. So same scale, but converted from a score of 0 to 10. And in fact, we have another value that shows efforts greater than 10. So here 0 just corresponds to the 6, to the value of 6 in this scale, where there is no exertion at all. And then we have values of 0.3 and 0.5 that actually correspond to the values 7 and 8 here and so on. So this scale is relatively easy to be filled because it is on a standard scale of 0 to 10. And when performing the task, either of the scales can be used, but when performing the task, the person just takes the corresponding value, how much effort he or she feels is involved in performing the task. And this can be validated by the values of actual heartbeats per minute as well. So perceived exertion has been defined as the act of detecting and interpreting sensations arising from the body during physical exertion, where the sensations arise from both the musculoskeletal and cardiovascular systems. So knowing an individual's perceived exertion levels during physical work provides information about demands that are placed on that individual's physical capacity. So this is possible because the RPE and CR10 rating values correlate highly with changes in heart rate and oxygen consumption. So these are the two measures that we saw in the previous segment. So you can use both these, this heart rate and oxygen consumption and Bord scale in combination to measure the physical capacity of an individual, the physical demand of a task for an individual. As a result of this property, RPE and CR10 scale have been used as a substitute for physiological monitoring. So as we saw that it is very difficult to measure VO2 max. So instead you can use RPE or CR10 scale to monitor the physiological demands of a task. The RPE and CR10 scales are less intrusive compared to, for example, a heart rate monitor. They are simple to administer and yet allow collection of reliable and valid data. So this is something we have discussed. To be filled, so there is less or little physical intrusion. So some of the example of past studies that utilized Bord scale are manual handling tasks, lifting patients in hospital, repetitive lifting, carpentry tasks, wood cutting, farm work, and so on. So it has a variety of disciplines where physical effort is involved. In fact, in every type of organization where physical effort is involved, this scale can be used to evaluate the level of effort that is involved. In the next segment, we will discuss muscle fatigue analysis. So that is another tool that can be used to evaluate the level of physical effort that is required to perform a task. Thank you.